When you open Visual Studio, you should get a screen looking like this, and we're going to be looking at the Multiply app example on how we set up the form. So the first thing you do is click on New Project. I'm going to call it Multiply app. And you can change where it saves. That's where I'm going to put it. I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, I had one before, so I had to override it. Okay, eventually you'll start with this editing screen here. The important thing to realize is that Visual Basic is made up of a screen that you can put objects on, and then with objects you can change their properties, and then you can set up events that will then trigger an action with that object. So I've got a form here which is the basic framework for anything that you do in Windows, and it effectively makes a window that comes up. So I'm going to stretch the size handle out and make it bigger. If we have a look at our design document, it says that we need a number of objects on there. The first one is the form, which we have. So we've done that. And the next one is a heading of the app window. It's going to call label heading, and it's of a label. So where do we get that from? We get that from Toolbox. So we can click on Toolbox and we can go in the list here and we find label. Now we're going to need two labels actually, because there's a form for the heading of the app and then there's the instructions for the app. So I'm going to click this twice. I'm going to get two labels. Now just drag one label out of the way for a minute. Drag this label over here. Okay, the first thing we need to do is change the name of the label, which we do. We go to label heading. So we've changed the name. The next thing we do is change the font. Now it says that it should be Arial 22. So we find Arial on our list, and then we find 22 on our list, and OK. And then the next thing we do is to change the color. So the font color is the color of the text. We go to custom and we select dark blue. OK. Then the next thing we need to do is to change the background of it. So we look at back color, which is up here, and we can change to back color, custom, and we need a yellow background. Ooh, hang on a minute, got the wrong one there. I didn't select the label, that was silly me. So I've selected the label, back color, and we're going yellow. That's better. Finally, we need to change the text in the label. So we need to scroll down to find text, and here it is here. They're all in alphabetical order. And this is going to be Multiply app. And there we have our initial heading. The next one we want is label that we want to have that as label instructions. So we're going to change the name to instruct. Okay, the text is going to be changed to Arial and 17 point. There's our Arial. 17 is not on the list, so we just select 8 and type in 17 and OK. We want to change the color to dark blue, same thing again, dark blue. And then finally, we're going to change the label text to that big set of instructions here. So we go enter to. Okay, so we've just done that now. Now you'll find that your label goes way off the screen, which is not what you want. So how do we change that? Well, there's there's a property called auto size, which auto sizes the box. We don't want it to auto size. We want to make our own. So we go to auto size, which is up the top of the list here, and we change it to false. And then what we do is move this box around to where we want it and stretch it out and figure, yeah, that doesn't look too bad. And I can already see there's some spelling mistakes in there. So go back to my number to see, click the multiply, and we need to get rid of that R, which we did. Okay, now the next thing is, I've still got some, I'll fix that spelling mistake. And then the next thing is we've got some labels for our text boxes. So we've got 3 labels and then 3 text boxes. Now look, the easiest way to do this is just to make one text box, set up all the properties, and one label, set up all the properties, and you just copy and paste them for the other 2. So I'll do that. You change them in exactly the same way as you've done this. Text boxes, I'll show you a little bit on that later. Okay, so now I'm going to set up one text box and one label and then copy those. So back into the toolbox. So I want a label and I want a text box, which is there. Okay, so let's drag things around a bit. There's the text box, there's the label. And we just set this label up exactly the same way as we've done before. So it's going to be label num1 and so on. We'll change the font and okay, I've made the changes to the label. Now the text box. The text box, I just changed the names to text box num1, and then exactly the same way I changed the font. Arial 17. Okay, and the color is the same. Right, now what I can do is just line these up. You can stretch this one a bit if we wish. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just copy and paste these, so it's just a matter of selecting them. So Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste. And I'll do another one, Control V to paste. And then it's just simply a matter of me editing the details in each one. Okay, so I've now done all my labels and all my text boxes and got them pretty well lined up. Just line these up with the bottom of each one. That's about it. Now the final thing I need to put on is a button. So it's toolbox again, go right to the top, button. There's my button, and I change this in exactly the same way. Call this button prod. Change the font in exactly the same way. Arial 17. Okay, and change it to blue. Okay, and then change the text to click to multiply. Click to multiply. And there we go. So that is how to set up a form using the Multiply app design in Visual Studio.